27F. I never imagined I'd find myself in this situation, questioning a relationship I've poured so much of my heart into. My name is Nina, and for the past 11 years, I've been living in a bustling city away from my family. I work a corporate job, have my own rented apartment, and on paper everything looks perfect. But life, as always, has a way of throwing curveballs. 5 years ago, I met Arav, a kind, compassionate, and genuinely amazing man. He's the type of person who'd go out of his way to help a stranger, who'd remember the tiniest details about you, and who'd make you laugh even on your worst days. Our relationship started like a dream. Dates filled with laughter, deep conversations, and the shared hope of building a future together. Fast forward to today, and that dream feels more like a distant mirage. I'm ready to settle down, to call a place home, and to start a family. But Arav, he isn't, and it's tearing me apart. My parents have always been open-minded. They've asked me countless times if I'm seeing someone and have reassured me that they'd accept anyone I choose, regardless of caste, religion, or financial background. Their support should have made this easier, right? But every time I've broached the subject with Arav, it's met with hesitation. I'm not settled yet, he'd say, avoiding my gaze. Marriage. It's a big step. I'm just not ready for it. This conversation has played on loop for over a year now. I've tried everything, from calmly discussing my feelings to outright crying in frustration. Arav listens, always gentle and understanding, but his stance never changes. If you can't wait for me, he'd whisper, I'd understand if you wanted to move on. Move on. The words echo in my mind, leaving me restless and overwhelmed. I love him, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm running out of time. Amidst this turmoil, I've been reconnecting with my younger brother Rohit, who's recently moved to the city for college. Rohit's presence has been a breath of fresh air. He's vibrant, full of life, and always manages to make me laugh. One evening, over a plate of momos, he asked, Di, why do you seem so off lately? His question caught me off guard. I confided in him about my struggles with Arav, and he listened intently. You're 27, he said bluntly. You've got your whole life ahead of you. Don't let anyone's indecision hold you back. At work, things haven't been smooth either. A big promotion was on the horizon, but it came with a catch: relocation to another city. The timing couldn't be worse. Arav and I had just started couples therapy, hoping to find clarity. Taking the promotion would mean leaving behind everything, including the fragile progress we'd made. My manager's words lingered. This is a career-defining opportunity, Naina. Think it over. One evening, after a particularly emotional therapy session, Arav and I sat on my balcony, the city lights twinkling below. Do you think I'm being unreasonable? I asked, breaking the silence. Arav sighed. It's not about you being unreasonable. It's about me not being enough right now. I don't want to marry you and fail to give you the life you deserve. But what if waiting means losing us? My voice cracked. Do you even think about that? He looked at me, his eyes filled with sadness. Every day. The breaking point came when my parents visited me unexpectedly. Over dinner, my mum casually mentioned a proposal from a family friend. We're not pressuring you, she said gently, but we'd like you to consider meeting him. Arav's reaction when I told him was a mix of anger and resignation. So, this is it? You're already looking for someone else? I'm not looking, I shot back, but I can't ignore that my future is slipping away while you hesitate. The argument escalated, raw emotions spilling out. By the end, we were both in tears, unsure of where we stood. After weeks of reflection, I made a decision. I took the promotion and relocated. Arav and I agreed to take a break, giving each other space to figure out what we truly wanted. It wasn't easy. The silence was deafening, and the loneliness crept in. Months later, Arav reached out. He'd been going to therapy on his own and realized that his fear stemmed from deeper insecurities. I want to try again, he said, this time for real. By then, I'd started building a life in my new city. I told him we'd need to take things slow, and he agreed. We're still figuring it out, but for the first time in years, I feel hopeful. Hopeful that, whether it's with Arav or on my own, I'll find the happiness I deserve.